good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Those of you that have been with us since the beginning, been with us here and there is about, poking your heads in and out. We thank God for you. And those of you that are contemplating subscription, yes, we ask you to do so. Like, share, and subscribe. Yes, we ask you that to keep up with what we're doing here and walking with Mr. Clay. Yes, I am Mr. Clay, okay. But anyway, the fact is that we appreciate you, period. We do. We appreciate you very much. I appreciate you very much. And we're in the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah chapter 4. Yes, Isaiah chapter 4. And this is a continuation of what's going to happen because Israel has been judged, or should I say Judah has been judged because of its hypocrisy. We read in chapter 1 where the Most High wanted to reason with them. He said, come reason with us. That wasn't about Jesus. That was about Judah. This all is about Judah. Now there's going to come a time where something is going to happen that they're going to be freed, and that's about the time of Persia, when they are allowed to go back to the temple and worship. But then there are those who are remnants. See, nobody wants a poor person, not even a poor man. A woman can be poor, but yet she don't want a poor man. It's weird, but either way. And a poor man cannot do nothing, but you're not poor because of money. You're poor because you lack the ability to think, to do things that make you prosper, whether it's food, clothing, or shelter. That is the lack. This is why you should build up your skills, your industrial skills, your automotive skills, your planting, and all these other things. You need more than just one thing that you do. You have one thing that you do good, but there also should be hobbies and things that you delve in, not so good at, but you know enough to get you by. But either way, Isaiah chapter 4. But first, before we do that, let's say the prayer of Abram. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed over the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Yes, and that's found in Jubilees chapter 12. And verse 20. Yes, Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. We said this on the last, in Isaiah chapter 3. Yes, we mentioned this. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Yes, this is an historical thing. And this has happened because how that the Most High has caused sentence to come upon the children of Judah, which was by way of Babylon, Persia, Gracia. Yes, these were the things that were impending upon them. Now, verse 2, in that day shall the branch of the I Am be beautiful and glorious. A branch. Think about a branch. You can look in Strong's Concordance. I think it's 6730. And he says the branch. Many thinks the branch is talking about your Isis, your Yahweh. This is what the Most High says. Let's put it this way. They were farmers, basically agricultural people. And when you think about a branch, you think about what grows on a branch, fruit. And what does the fruit do? It nurtures, it brings nourishment, it causes one to become more healthier. After famine and war, yes, he said in that day, the I Am shall the branch of the I Am be beautiful and glorious. Think about what he's saying here. And the fruit of the earth shall be excellent, comely for them that are escaped of Israel. Escaped of what? escaped of the sentence from the judgment to come. This is what he's saying. In other words, you're going to go back to the laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High for fear of what happened to those who walked in hypocrisy and proud, which was the majority of the peoples, yes. But those that are escaped, a branch, it's there, it's an extension. Yes, a branch. We have to really contemplate. Strong's doesn't give you too good of a definition of what is meant by a branch, but as a farmer and those of you that understand agriculture, what does a branch do? This is how you have to look at things. Think like a farmer, a branch. It bears fruit, and that fruit nourishes, and that fruit gives life. Yes. And that branch is from a tree. And that tree is the word of the Most High. Yes. Now, it's subject even to your, should I say, comprehension. But we'll say that, look it up in Strong 6730. Branch. Now it says now, in verse 3, it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy. They have returned to the law, statutes, commandments, ordinance of the Most High. And everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem. Written in Jerusalem. In other words, this is a literal thing. The census. Everyone that is counted living. They shall see what the error of their ways was and return unto the I am. Yes, when the I am shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion. Now he's talking about literal females that are doing what is repeated even in this day. How the literal females, and you're lost. You don't understand who you really are. How they walk around with their tinkling bells and their long eyelashes and their short skirts to where their buttocks is half covered. And all they have to do is bend over and all the world is shown. And now he says, these women, yes, woman, he's talking about you, daughters of Zion. He's going to judge you, to sentence you. Many of you have been sentenced to the point where you have gotten so bad to where you judge the men of Zion. You judge, although the men have their own way that God's going to deal with them. God has a way of dealing with them to bring them to repentance. But he's talking about you at the time. That you, God's going to judge, and you are going to receive sentence, which some have already have. You've bought houses, they pumped you up, gave you jobs, and you thought you were better than the man, and all of a sudden here is another person comes into the office and says, well, we're going to get rid of DEI, and who was the first one to go in the government? You. But nevertheless, not all of you are Zion, but many of you are. Or the children, the daughters of Zion, is what he's talking about. You cannot follow the heathen and think that you're going to get away with it before the Most High, because he is chosen. And to reprimand is just like reprimanding a child. You take the oldest one, or the one that gets in the most trouble, and you set the example. His punishment will make the others fear and respect not to do those things that he or she has done. Yes. And it comes to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, clean, even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem. When the I am shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. Yes, sickness, disease, war, famine, all these things will the Most High bring judgment. And from judgment there is sentence. And you can't just blame it on Gen Z or the millennials. It has accumulated over the years. Most of us, we remain morally clean after Reconstruction. Marriages were full-fledged. Men and women were mostly faithful. Not saying there was that corner who would follow after, but then again, people start looking the way of the rebellious. And all of a sudden, rebellion got even more against the word, and rebellion got more until even the ministers and preachers began to say, hey, I can make a living off of these people are going to live nothing anyway, so let me try to trick them up. They're suffering and don't know why they're suffering. Judgment, you're suffering the sentence of the Most High among the living in judgment. Then you're getting squirted by water holes. It could have changed. It really could have changed. But you were being not only insurgent by the oppressor, but each other. Yes, in your rebellion, instead of sticking to what you know is right before the Most High and having a mind to say, I'm going to follow the Most High and what the Most High says, even his laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. Many have even saw this with the Israelite movement that have come early, even in the time of Reconstruction, and the oppressor began to be worried and doubt. Because one thing about it, the Old Testament don't tell you to be a punk. It doesn't tell you to turn the other cheek to your oppressor. It doesn't tell you to do that. Not even your brethren. If he tells you to turn the other cheek, it's because you're giving him a chance to redeem himself before you knock him out. That's it. And many of us, we miss that. We miss the fact that we were blinded to the point of the slave Bible and all manner of other things that have, those that are not even of Judah, those of a different hue of skin, were deceived also in many ways. To think they're better, to think that they're human, and think they're more human than anybody else. But the fact is that, what does he say? When the I Am shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem. Now he's talking about the whole here. From the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And the I Am will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night, for upon the glory shall be a defense. This is a time to come. He spoke of a time of deliverance and also a time to come. Yes, and this time is yet to be. But Job is our best example. Above even your Yahushua, Yahusha, your Jesus, or our best example was an Edomite named Job, and that he was careful to do those things that pleased God. We have to be careful to do those things that are contained in the commandment, statutes, ordinances. For these are the boundaries that God has set, that we, our ancestors, have agreed to. These are the boundaries that the children of Judah have agreed to, that if even an Edomite walks into him, he or she shall be redeemed. Yes. To even experience this dwelling place. Jesus didn't come to prepare no place for you. God said he got this place. Look at this. He said the I Am will create upon every dwelling place in Mount Zion and her assemblies a cloud of smoke by day, just as God has done, even with the Red Sea, to keep your enemies out. And then, and only then, will he allow Armageddon, or whatever you would want to call it, to occur. Because once he lifted and make a way for you to escape from them, they shall come and be consumed of the Most High. Then the feast shall be summoned for the ravenous birds and beasts. Yes, that's when it shall happen. Many of us got this wrong. So the Most High is promising that he's going to be a cloud by day and a smoke by a cloud by night, smoke by, oh, I got it wrong here. A fire by night and a smoke by day, or cloud by day, or smoke by day. Yes. He says, and there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge for a convert from the storm and rain. See, there it is again, convert. So there is hope for the heathen and the oppressor, the children of the oppressors, if you would turn away from your hatred and from the stamp that is put upon your heart, to ask God to remove that stamp of hatred, which was caused by Deuteronomy chapter 28. It's nothing that you can't help it, really. And it doesn't mean to be for me or anyone else to feel pity, but you can ask and see yourself and say, deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts. In other words, get that stamp off of me. Get that stamp of adultery. Get that stamp of fornication. That stamp that's on me, that has been stamped from my youth. I was born clean and pure before you, Almighty. But now here I am being surrounded by sin and influenced by everything I did not know. But now I see, and I turn away and I quit these things. Remove the thoughts that bombard me every day. This is what we ought to pray. Yes. And he says, for a convert from the storm and rain. God has a plan. This is the whole thing in a nutshell. Really, you don't need the Gospels. It's null and void. Isaiah said it right here in chapters 3 and 4. Really, this should be chapter 3, because it should be a continuation of chapter 3. Because God, what is God doing? The Most High, the I Am, Sanini Nanini, yes, the Heya, the Ya Allah. He's saying this. First, I'm pointing out your sin, according to what your forefathers have agreed to. It has nothing to do with the world. They have their own way of thinking. You have to shun them out. I'm showing you what you transgressed against. I know your parents did not teach you. This is what it looks like to me. In my own opinion, humble opinion, should I say. But you know better, because these things are in you. You know what not to do. You know that your buttocks is out, woman. You know your breasts are showing to entice the male. The male has a certain way that he has to be attracted to a woman, and from there he discovers her as far as her character and her personality. Okay? Regardless, she could be not so attracted to one man where she's attracted to another. These things, you will look upon them to desire them. Yes, you will. Is that a sin? No. The sin is what the Most High said it is. Thou shalt commit adultery. In other words, you should not become one when the woman or the man is one with another or others. The man with his wives or wife, and the woman with her husband. You cannot become one with them when they are already one with another. And neither can they you when they're one with another. Now we must begin to look at this thing in a sober way. God says, now if you measure your life according to these commandments, just as Job did, we're back in the book of Job. If we be careful to measure our lives, even in your Old New Testament, if you judge yourself, because you're going to turn away from those things, you have to judge yourself. Many of you have judged yourself. You know what kind of person you is. Even you women that says you've been through your whole phase, and you men that says I sold my oats. You sold yourself for nothing. You despise the bride price. You despise the dowry that belonged to your father. And this is for one reason why the Satans have disseminated the families. He's caused them to be confused. The hierarchy and the order and everything that has to do with the family Regardless of whether your husband or your wife has a job or no, it doesn't matter. You have a covenant. That's what's matter. That's what means the most. That's what means the most. Your ambitions, throw them away. Throw them away. If your ambitions go against your family values, your ambitions cause you to go away from your wife or your husband, say no. That's all you have to do is say no. But the fact is that there's so many other extenuating things that the enemy puts there that makes us say yes. Look at the temptation of Eve. Adam was fond of her because she was the only woman there. He liked her because she was company and he could communicate with her. And he knew that she came from him. Just like I say, woman, you are an extension of the man. The man didn't come from you, you came from the man. A man is not going to have a missing rib. Adam had the missing rib. And after that, they were told to multiply after their kind. How foolish can some of you on social media be to say, how come man still have all his ribs? That is like a person hiding under a rock and their eyes are showing like the cartoon depicts. You see what you don't see. You'd rather be in darkness. But the fact is, if we do those things that are right before the Most High, and we learn his ways, statutes, commandments, and ordinances, we will have